with me. You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. Coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. So you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. For the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. I take shots to the top, I'll get it. I got one life, I'ma do all to win it. I do
All right, guys. Happy Sunday, January, what is it, 19th. Welcome back. Let's get Mediocre in here. And let me get rid of this window. How you doing, Mediocre?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing swell. Freezing our ass off down here, but I bet any of you guys that are up in the north are feeling it too. We got a chance of snow here, I think on Tuesday, which is unusual for where I'm at down in the southern part of Texas.
Yeah, Gus was telling us about 15 minutes ago they got some snow down there in the south too, Tennessee, Georgia area.
I want to let the folks know that are tuning in. We're probably going to do about plan is maybe an hour live stream tonight. The markets are closed. Stock markets are closed tomorrow. What is it? MLK Day tomorrow, Mediocre?
Yes, sir.
And we have the inauguration. So I'm contemplating live streaming the inauguration event. Maybe I'll do that. Depends on what's going on tomorrow morning. We kind of have put off our normal weekend planning for what tickers we're going to buy next week. We've put that off until tomorrow discussion since the market isn't opening tomorrow. But in this video, maybe we'll talk about some plays that people are looking at in the Discord and take whatever question you guys want to talk about, whatever tickers you want us to take a look at this weekend. So let me bring in the Discord and see if we can get that to work without a horrible echo. Let's see, we got 3 folks in tonight: Gus, Rolf, and Richie. What's up, gentlemen? I'm doing all right. Gus, can you do a mic check? All right, and I see Richie's got his mic off for the moment. Mediocre. So
Yes,
let's talk about TikTok for a second, because you were pretty upset this weekend that
was.
TikTok was being shut off. And then lo and behold, today we get the news that Trump, before he's even in office, is already talking about an executive order to overturn that ban. And voila, TikTok is back on today. What do you think?
I think it's amazing. I think that my whole I don't care about necessarily TikTok, right? Like, it is what it is. Like, it's an app, whatever. I mean, I occasionally use it, but I'm not like addicted to TikTok or anything. My problem with it is there's no difference between TikTok, the clothing app Sheen, or any one of these other Chinese apps that we're using, Temu. Uh, what's that trading app? That's Temu too, right?
Temu, yeah, I think that's a shopping app. I think my
I
wife
mean,
uses it.
I think Temu and I think Sheen are way more of a national security threat than TikTok is. I just think that our government, and I can't just say it's only Biden, right? Biden signed it into law. Yes, that is true. He did. But, it was the 3 branches of government that banned it, which I find very
Congress passed the ban overwhelmingly, both sides of the aisle, right?
Right. And that's the part that really gets to the American people at the core, I think, because, not to get all political or anything, but it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, whether you're on the right or the left, right? I mean, they want to get back to the status quo, in my opinion. They do not want what's been going on with the American people having the information. They want to get back to you watching the regular news and falling in line. And that's what I think it's about.
We talked about the security risks. I don't know if there's security risk with TikTok or not. I hear them saying that in the media. Haven't heard a lot of individual, stories about, oh, well, here's what information was taken from me. But what so I don't know about that part of it. But what I do think, Mediocre, is there were some big money tech companies greasing the palms over there in DC for competitive reasons, saying this thing's too big, it's too competitive for us, and China is a great legitimate excuse to shut it down.
I agree. I think that was a lot of what was happening, right? But the platform you're referring to is the platform that was taking orders from our government to censor conservative speech. That was happening. That was a communist, allegedly. There's plenty of evidence to support that, Tony.
Just trying to not
I
get
know.
my channel turned off, you know.
Allegedly. No, I
Oh,
hear you.
we're just reporting what we heard on the news, you know, and
Rolf, what are
social
your
media.
thoughts on that? Jump in this conversation. I want to hear what your thought is.
I had to get off Facebook, Rolf. It's just too much pushing of information in my face from Facebook. Every time I log in, oh, don't forget to do this, check this, here, warning about this. I don't like that. I'm a grown up. I don't need to be babysat by a social media app. And then the whole just vitriol and the fighting of friends and family, extended family on Facebook. I don't want to be on social media to get all emotionally riled up over topics that no one's going to solve by typing on their keyboard. You know what I mean?
And I think that Facebook was a big part of pushing that. I haven't been on Facebook since just before 2020. It was getting pretty nasty, and after 2016, and I was done with it. And I think that's a big part of it, right? Facebook lost a lot of people that left their platform because of the way that they were censoring over there. And I think that hurts their brand, and it hurts their bottom line when they're losing market share to companies like TikTok. I think you're right about that. And how do you get people to get back on American platforms? I think that's a problem. But that's what happens when you have your government involved in private companies, right?
And I'm sure there were no congressmen that were betting on Meta or anything. Rolf, did you look into that? You're good at that stuff. Mediocre? Anybody?
Yeah, I seen it. I would say there's a large majority, and some that you would not expect. Some Trump supporting patriots that would have said, they're all for Trump, voted for the TikTok ban. I'll just say it. Marjorie Taylor Greene voted for it too, and she bought some Facebook before it all happened, allegedly. I'll have to look more into it on her stock page, but it's being reported that happened.
Gus, you're a big TikTok user. What do you think?
Because use TikTok. That's funny.
Hey,
I love it.
Speaking of Trump, so we got the TikTok news. If you guys, if that bothered you in the chat, let us know. If you're happy it's back, let us know. But while we're waiting on the chat, Trump coin became a thing in the last 36 hours, 48 hours.
Tony,
Mediocre.
I caught it at the bottom.
You did. You went all
in?
in?
All in, baby.
I got the notification, Mediocre. We were hanging out, what was it, on Friday night? And as soon as we got offline, I started getting all these notifications. Trump coin, $5, $5, get in now. I was like, holy shit, load the damn boat.
I did not purchase any Trump coin, but I did look at it. That's my running joke,
Mediocre. I did get the notifications when it was cheap that this became a thing. I was like, is this real? Is this another hot tour? What's going to happen? And I started figuring out how to buy it. And then I looked up at $10, 20, 23, 30. I was like, oh shit, no, that's not for me now. I mean, before I could even figure out how to buy it, it was already over $30. So
yeah,
I have a chart here. It's currently looks like about $46. So it ran all the way up to about 79, currently at 46. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm very interested to see what happens with this. And apparently it is a legit thing and people were making a lot of money on it. Rolf, how much did you make on Trump coin? Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. Hang on 1 second. They're saying they can't hear the Discord, so let me just check something here.
They can hear it, but it's soft. I don't know how we can fix that.
I have a few people saying they can hear it and some saying it's too low. So I'm going to try, let's see. Let me try putting it in a window on my browser instead of a standalone app. Maybe that'll help.
But Rolf, continue if you could while he's doing that. Yeah.
I've got Ethereum, Doge, XRP, and Bitcoin. Those are my 4 toes in the water of crypto.
All right. I think they can hear the Discord now. Let me know. I see it lighting up on.
All right. So it looks like I'm reading the chat, and they're still having a hard time hearing the Discord.
Yeah, but are you behind?
Yeah, it's 30.
Sure
It's about a
behind.
30-second delay. So. All right, and inauguration tomorrow. Mediocre, are you going to be watching that?
I thought you and I might do a live, maybe. I don't know. We're still talking about it, right?
Yeah,
I will definitely be watching the inauguration. It's I think
right.
it's a historical moment.
So if you're going to be watching it, and I'm going to be watching it, and may as well live stream it if we can. All right. Yeah. Ron says it's good. Anya says it's good. Discord, they can hear it fine. Sorry about that. We don't do this too often where we have the Discord live. And if you're in the Discord, guys, and you want to come join the voice conversation, just pop into the champagne room. And it's camera optional. You don't have to be on camera. Just make sure you have your headset and microphone or earbuds, whatever works for you.
I noticed that Anya wants to talk about Lunar. And before Rolf leaves, let's get Rolf on the spot on his thoughts on Lunar, if he wouldn't mind.
Yep. Rolf, you still here, buddy? He may have disappeared on us, Mediocre.
Well, I mean, I'm out of Lunar now, just so everybody knows. And
yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
Perfect. And I love Lunar, as you know. So I will talk about Lunar for the next 30 or 40 seconds.
Go ahead. The floor is yours, Rolf.
What happened?
He might be on a delay. Rolf, go ahead. The floor is yours on Lunar.
All right. So I like Lunar. Let's start with their next launch date is February 27th, which is about 6 weeks out. And because of that, we have plenty of time. If we get in a tricky position with Lunar, we have plenty of time to make it right. But I do not think, looking at the close on Friday, 1851, it's a good spot. My original target for Lunar many months ago for launch date was $14. But back then, the launch date was November. It then got pushed back to December. Now, finally, it's got pushed back to February 27th, and it's not going to get pushed back again. If it doesn't happen on the 27th, it's not going to happen for many months. So everything seems to be go for Lunar for the 27th. I think they finished on Friday or maybe Thursday of packaging the Lunar. Every experiment that is going to the moon has been loaded into the module, and the module will make its way to the launch pad in Florida, going up on a SpaceX Heavy 9 on February 27th. So between now and then, I will be trading it. 1851 is the current price. I have revised my price estimate. As I noted, it was originally $14, and I've been playing it like it's been $14, but now I'm going to play it like it's going to be $22.
All right.
So my target is $22, and I will be trading accordingly, which means for me at the moment, I am in cash. I had Lunar puts. Oh no, I misspoke. I had $19 Lunar puts, so I own Lunar right now at $19. I had sold some $14 calls a month out. That month expired on Friday, so I will be receiving cash for those. And I'm going to take that cash, and I might roll some Lunar puts, or I might not, since I do have shares at $19 for sure. On Tuesday, I'm going to be selling calls. I don't know exactly what strike yet. I was thinking 20, but I might go to 21. I'll just have to wait and see what the pre-market does a little bit on Tuesday.
Anya wants to know
The
if
$21 calls on Friday we're paying about 25 or 26 cents, which is pretty good. So we'll see. I'll make that decision on Tuesday, and then tomorrow I will decide if I'm going to take any of this Lunar cash and roll some more puts, or go some other direction with that.
Rolf, Anya wants to know if you heard about the Elon's little space incident over the past couple days, the Starship blowing up, and if you think that impacts Lunar at all, positive or negative, or does it give you any concern in the play?
It doesn't give me any concern, but I think it has to be a negative toward Lunar. Now, whether or not it has an impact on Lunar's price, I can't say. I think, what did Musk call that incident? He called it a rapid or unscheduled rapid disassembly of the spaceship. So it exploded, is what happened. It was just the booster, I think, that exploded.
Did you see the video of the little steel flap flapping in the wind?
Yes. Yeah, they caught the main body of the ship came back, and they caught it on the landing pad, like they've been doing with that tall structure that catches the rockets out of flight.
Right.
But the booster did explode. It was the unscheduled rapid disassembly of the booster. Pretty spectacular. I've seen lots of video of it. It's pretty cool looking. And those things are bound to happen. I think it's the second explosion they've had that was unplanned. They've had plenty of planned explosions that they did, in the years leading up to where we are now. But I think that's the second one they had that was unplanned. So hopefully, if that were to happen on the Lunar launch, as long as the Lunar payload gets away and off to the moon, that's fine. But if the thing blows up mid-flight, putting it into orbit, that's going to be a disaster for stockholders.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Rolf, but from all the conversations I've had with everybody who's playing Lunar, everybody's intention is to be out of the play before the launch.
I mean, that's certainly my intention. I know people that I don't know personally, but that I cross paths with on X, who are in this for the long haul. They have no intention of selling anytime in the near future. They are just adding to their position. And Tony, I know you know this. I am not an investor, right? What they're doing is investing. They're buying and holding. That's not me. I don't buy and hold. I buy and sell.
Yeah, I guess I should clarify. I'm talking in our little world of the Discord community.
In our little Discord community, I think we are all on the same page. And anybody that's in Lunar or trading Lunar plans to be out of it prior to the launch date of the 27th.
Which may or may not be a great decision. It could go up after that, but we've already kind of made up our minds just for risk management that is our intention.
And interestingly enough, all of our options that we had on Lunar all expired on the Friday, which put us all back in cash. And we don't know what is Tuesday going to bring with Trump's inauguration and such. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing quite yet this week. I got a couple plays that I've looked at that look good. I haven't even looked at a reentry in Lunar. It's interesting that we're having this conversation live about Lunar because I haven't looked at it at all. I'm not even sure what the high was because when it ran away, that's one thing that happens, right? When a stock runs away from me and I can't capitalize on it, it hurts my feelings. So I try not to look. I know I'm in a good position. I'm making money, but I want to know. I don't like to see profits that I let get away.
Yeah.
But that happens in the game we play.
Speaking of the
It
inauguration,
does happen when it's the way we do it, right? So for the most part, our group is focused on making money through premiums, through selling to receive premium. So sometimes when you do that, you do miss a run up. I missed in the spring in May. I missed the AMC run up to $11. I think I had sold $5 or $6 calls. I can't remember now. I think it was $6 calls, and it ran up to 11. I rolled my calls out 1 week, and then I just let them go. So I missed a lot on that. I still made money. I'm not complaining about making money, right? It's a profitable venture, but could have made a lot more on that specific trade if I hadn't done it that way.
Yeah.
that is always the risk when you're running the wheel. And like I was positioned the same way as you, Rolf. Like I had shares of AMC before that May run up of 2024, and I had sold covered calls on them. But as soon as I got the inkling that looked like it had a chance to run, I added quickly some regular call options, a bet to the upside, so that if I lost my shares at a profit through the exercise of covered calls at the end of the week, I would still make money from the calls that I bought. So I had sold covered calls and then I bought calls, and I ended up making 1,000% on those calls. So still ended up being a good trade. I made money both on the shares and on the covered calls. And then when the price came down, I rebought everything again.
Gus,
And Tony, that was a good play on your part. That was the catalyst for all that was the Roaring Kitty tweet,
Yes.
as I recall. And you were fortuitous and paying attention, and when you saw that tweet, you jumped on those calls, and that was a great play.
Gus says the only thing that he holds is a shot glass. I just want you all to know.
The other thing that I just thought I'd throw out there for conversation tonight, before we run out of time, is I saw on X, Twitter, today, and I don't know if it's true or not, but that Trump was talking about an executive order to federally legalize marijuana. And I'm only want to talk about it from a stock trading perspective. Is that true? Have any of y'all heard about that potential executive order? Have you been able to vet it? And should we be looking at those stocks for Tuesday or Monday night trading?
This is the thing. This is why it's good to be in cash right now, because we don't know what is going to happen Tuesday morning. We could catch something really, really nice. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't think that he's ever really talked about that, as far as I know. But I mean,
Well, let me jump in here because I do know he did talk about it before the election. So the election was November. He talked about it at the end of the summer. I don't remember exactly when, and he didn't give a firm answer one way or another. But the conversation, as I recall, it was all positive about legalizing marijuana. Like the things he was talking about were all the beneficial things that would come from legalizing marijuana. But I don't recall that he said, yes, I'm going to do this thing. And I don't even recall if he was asked that direct question on the interview that I saw. But
I
he
just
did
wonder,
talk about it.
I just wonder if anybody heard him talk about it or saw something other than a tweet from a random guy on Twitter. Like, I wonder sometimes, you know how people are, Rolf. They want to pump something, so they create a rumor.
yeah.
Because maybe they have calls that are rolling into next week that they would like to see go up. So, hey, let's start this rumor and get these things moving on Monday night into pre-market Tuesday morning. I don't know.
All I know is I have cash ready to deploy.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
We are nimble and ready to roll.
Same here. I got a fresh batch of cash from all my trades. I have one open trade that some options that I bought that expired this coming Friday. So other than that, I'm in cash. Any other tickers you guys want to talk about? Otherwise, we're going to look at box office real quick and take some AMC questions, maybe GameStop. And Rolf, Gus, Mediocre. I see Carlos in here. If you guys got any other tickers you're watching or thinking about, now's the time to mention them.
I will throw one out or two.
All right.
I'll preface by saying that Donald Trump has campaigned as being pro crypto, and his SEC chair nominee is very openly pro crypto. So because of those two things, I am dabbling in some crypto stocks. I'm in IBIT. It's a BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, and I'm also in MicroStrategy, which is a private company that owns, as far as I know, it owns the most Bitcoin, at least as a private entity.
MSTR, right?
MSTR, that's correct. So MSTR and IBIT are both tickers that I'm in on. And then on the side, on the crypto side, I actually outright own a little bit of Bitcoin and some XRP. I think I mentioned those earlier. But all of that is because of Donald Trump's open support for crypto and his SEC chair nominee, his open support for crypto. So I think like the first golden age of crypto, I believe, is upon us. I think the next 4 years is an opportunity to make money in crypto, and I plan on taking advantage of it.
So, Rolf, I didn't hear you mention Genius Group, ticker symbol GNS. You know, they have a shareholder rights offering coming up next month where they're trying to raise $33 million to buy additional Bitcoin to become a Bitcoin bank, not a bank, but a Bitcoin company, just like MSTR.
MSTR's footsteps.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the price is right for GNS. If they're going to get on this bandwagon, then maybe I need to look at that. I'll put some hours into it, but it's trading well under $1, so that's the right price.
I'm going to put a video out on GNS tomorrow because there are a lot of people that always ask, why doesn't the CEO of XYZ company do a share rights offering instead of dilution? A share rights offering is dilution. And Rolf, GNS is going to double their float through this share rights offering. They're going to go from 33 million shares to 66 million shares, if I remember the numbers correctly, selling a rights offering, dilution to shareholders, existing shareholders, raising $33 million ostensibly to buy Bitcoin. And that's kind of the interesting twist on it, is they're not just doing it because they're losing money. Well, they are losing money. Let's be real. That's why the stock's trading at 50 cents. But they're trying to raise money to buy Bitcoin and then hope that Bitcoin goes up, right? Because if you're buying GNS, you're buying Bitcoin at the top, whatever the price is in February. And what happens if Bitcoin falls? And that's something to think about. And same with MSTR. But if Bitcoin goes up, the rest of this year, it could end up being a genius move. But bunch. So I don't know. I'll share some thoughts on that one tomorrow. 50 cents a share. I'm not a buyer. I'm not an owner. I have no play, no options, nothing in that stock. But I am primarily interested in seeing how the rights offering plays out. And if people subscribe to it. What if the shareholders don't fully subscribe to the rights offering? Then what? And so really what I'm waiting on, Rolf, is to see the prospectus supplement, which has not been released yet.
Well, Tony, this is quite a find, GNS. I'm going to add them to my watch list and just follow along. And it's something else. I mean, we talk about this in the Discord many days during the week, almost every week. We'll wait. If we think there's a dilution coming, then we will wait until that dilution happens and then reevaluate and see if we should jump in.
That's a good segue maybe into AMC real quick while we still have everybody in here. I put out a somewhat controversial video yesterday. I've gotten a lot of feedback on it on Twitter and in the comments. Some people, which hedge fund do you work for? Why are you being so negative? And then I have my favorite haters who think Adam Aaron pays me. So it is funny, I just tell you guys my opinion. Whatever the numbers say, whatever I see in the filings, I speak my mind. It might be good for AMC. It might be bad, depending on what I see. But we are all, I think, in the Discord discussing the risk of dilution. Rolf, do you want to talk about that for a second? I've already said my piece on video. Let's let some of you guys, Richie, Rolf, Gus, Mediocre, have a couple whacks at it.
Let's
What are
let
you
Richie
seeing?
go.
What are you seeing? What are you worried about?
They got no money.
Well, they have 500 million, Rolf. Now they have 710 million with the cash raise.
Yeah, but the first quarter doesn't look good either. So that means we're probably going to lose more money. So they're pretty much out of shares. So what's their next bet? To me, it's dilution. I could be wrong, but that's all I can see.
Some would say, Richie, that their next bet is every quarter this year is going to be massively profitable. That's what I'm hearing on social media. They don't need to worry about raising more money because they're going to make so much profits in 2025.
I would say they should look at the first quarter movie theaters, and it does not look that way.
But I want to
now. Third quarter and fourth quarter, sorry, mediocre. Third quarter and fourth quarter look extremely strong, and then that's a different story. But right now, I'll stay out of it for now.
My question to those folks, Tony, would be this. I mean, if they're expecting massive profits for these quarters coming, then why is Adam Aaron talking about the Go plan and possibly needing money to dilute?
Moreover, Mediocre, why would the company put numerous risk factors in the 10Q and the prospectus saying if the box office doesn't grow, we're going to need to dilute more? I mean, it says it in plain English in black and white. That's not
I mean, I love the company. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love the movie theater industry, especially as a trader. I think it's a great way to make money in the market.
We love it for volatility play.
Exactly. And, it's easy to understand, I think, if they're going to be profitable or not. There's a lot of things you can do work in the background to protect your position, where other companies, you don't have that luxury. And so I think that our group that we associate with do a lot of that. And we use a lot of technical analysis, and we put a lot of stuff together to make solid trades. So I just the revenue of the company is lagging still because the box office isn't back to 2019 levels. It's just not there yet, And
Mediocre, I'm gonna issue an open invitation to anybody watching, and I asked a couple people this question via response on Twitter today. If you think the company is going to be profitable in Q2, Q3, Q4, that's fine. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. That's cool. Show me your box office forecast by quarter, because you got to start there. And then show me your income statement line by line. I've already done mine. That's what I did this weekend before I made that video. I've already mapped out my expectations for box office every quarter this year by looking at each movie and coming up with my numbers like I do every quarter, every year. And I've already mapped out what that translates to for profit or loss for AMC for every quarter this year. I already know those numbers. So
for me,
if you have an opinion that it's going to be profitable, I'm just saying, let's have a conversation. Show me your numbers on your income statement forecast, and then maybe you can help me figure out where I went wrong.
I'm sure you all seen my tweet I put out talking about how Regal just announced that they're going to be installing laser projectors in their theaters, right? Okay, so now you have Cinemark saying they're putting laser projectors, and AMC said, "Oh, we got to do something. Go on the Go plan." Now you got Regal saying the same thing. So they're all moving to these laser projectors, and AMC doesn't have a choice but to keep up with the Joneses. They have got to keep up with the Joneses so they don't lose market share. That is one of my major problems with the Go plan. right now.
AMC is the most expensive per ticket of any of these major movie chains. And how do they do that? By having the best and the most luxury. And
Exactly.
so you think they're going to allow themselves to fall behind over the next 5 years? These other theaters putting in better technology and stuff? It's just something to think about. It's things I'm thinking about.
Right, and if they let those other companies catch up and they're the highest price ticket, you're going to lose market share. That's the whole point of what we're talking about. I don't know.
And the other thing, mediocre, even if we set the Go plan aside for a second, like we say, okay, they're not going to incrementally increase CapEx, the capital expenditures to invest in equipment. We saw that letter from Merriweather or whoever it was. He said, no, that you're not understanding right. The Go plan is just the same CapEx. We're just letting you know, hey, this is how we're going to spend it. Okay. Maybe it's not incremental. Maybe it's not a massive increase in CapEx, but and maybe they don't need to. I guess where I'm going with this is if they do need to increase CapEx, because CapEx is really low for AMC on a historical level for the past couple of years because they've been trying to save money and pay off debt. But if they need to increase capital expenditures to buy equipment to keep up with the competition, they would either dilute to raise money to fund that, or if you have profits, then you are spending that money on capital expenditures, which then negatively impacts your free cash flow. And you're back in a situation where you have no free cash flow or minimal free cash flow.
And what did Adam Aaron say in the Q3 earnings call when he brought out the Go plan? He
said that if shareholders insisted that they expedite the Go plan, that they would consider it. Wink, wink.
Exactly, which means what?
This is a lot of stuff I'm throwing at you guys, but free cash flow is AMC's ticket to success in the future. Like when you have both positive earnings and positive free cash flow, you start getting credit rating upgrades, and you can refinance your debt again in 2026 and get a lower interest rate with a better credit rating. But if they decide to start spending all their cash that they're making on capital expenditures, now you have minimal free cash flow. I don't know how that's going to affect it. I don't know even what they're going to do. I'm just telling you, these are things that I'm thinking about, and I mention them so that maybe you could help me think about them. Maybe I got it all wrong, mediocre.
That's why we have conversations all the time in the Discord, right?
We try and game out every possible scenario and then assign a risk and a reward potential to each scenario, and then come up with our own best judgment of what to do in a short-term time frame and a longer-term time frame. Short-term, I think for most of us, for sure, not everybody. There's many people in the Discord that are holding the stock, lowering their cost basis. There are also some that are day trading it, I see. And there are some that are just out of the play. So it's not like here's the instructions and you must follow it. It's just a flowing conversation, and everybody takes the DD and makes up their own mind.
Yeah, we don't force anybody to do anything. It's opinion based. This is my opinion, what I think, right? So right now, my opinion of AMC is I can make money elsewhere much quicker.
And all opinions are valid, mediocre.
That's right.
All opinions are valid. But I see on social media, if I dare have an opinion, people want to shut me down. Call me a FUD, call me a shill, paid hedge fund, paid by AMC. No matter what, no matter what my opinion is, they don't want me to say it. Why is that? Why don't people want to allow free speech? Just because my idea is different than theirs?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the same reason why I think Congress wanted to ban TikTok. Yeah, free speech. You don't like what the other person's saying. That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't like you and I don't like your words. Therefore, I must make sure you get eradicated. You're not allowed to ever have an opinion again. It's pretty sad when it comes to that. And I'm very thankful for our community everybody in the Discord that is very tolerant and encouraging of different viewpoints, and everybody learns, I think, by having all of these viewpoints coming in, everybody being heard.
Mm-hmm. Gus, what are you playing? What stock are you messing with? I forgot.
Only what I got some puts on Aspen. But other than that, I'm cash.
Can you repeat that,
yeah.
Mediocre? I'm having a hard time hearing them. Puts on what?
Aspen,
Aspen?
ASPN. Yeah.
Did he sell puts or buy puts?
He sold them.
Okay.
Buy nothing.
He
Sold
don't buy
cash.
nothing. He only sells shit, right, Gus?
That's right. That's where the money's at, selling it.
We're going to take, for any of you that are trading ASPN, we're going to take a fresh look at it tomorrow, and I'll try and do a video on that as well. I think it was coming down this week, if I recall. Do you remember, Mediocre?
Yeah, it came down a little bit, but it's hanging between 12.50 and 13 and change, right around there. But
we need to revalidate our DD since we have so many people playing it.
Yeah. But there's so many plays. There's so many plays. It's hard to, like I still have some ASPN. I own some shares. I'll tell you guys, my shares are at 14. But I don't plan on holding them long. I'm going to lower my dollar cost average and whatever. I don't plan on holding 14s long without lowering my dollar cost average. I'll say that because maybe I do hang on to them, but the dollar cost average is nowhere near going to stay at 14. I'll tell you right now.
Rolf Malika is saying hello to you. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly in the chat, and also asking, I guess, me how to crack the FINRA exams. I'm studying for the Series 65 just for fun, Malika. I have a playlist on my channel on the FINRA exams. I took the SIE exam last year. I'm taking the Series 65 this year. I was hoping to get my studying done at the end of last year, but that didn't happen. So, and I'm only on my schedule. I'm not on anybody else's schedule. But in those videos in that playlist, I have a link to Achievables, which is the online tool I highly recommend that you guys use if you need a study tool to pass any FINRA exam. Anya says she's in ASPN, just down a little bit. Muy bien, Anya. Anya says people don't like to be proven wrong. That's why they want to shut down opinions. I don't know. I don't ever care. And I know Mediocre doesn't care if we're proven wrong, but bring your facts, right? We don't want to have a discussion. We don't want to have a discussion on opinion.
Learn me something. I'm willing to learn.
Absolutely.
If I don't know.
Absolutely.
That's the only way you're going to get better.
And if you bring what you think are facts and we have a discussion, and you better be willing to have a two-way conversation, because if it's a topic we're interested in, then we're going to have our DD buttoned tight. I can tell you that. Who else? Carlos, did you have any topics you wanted to talk about tonight?
Carlos Guzman, what's up, man?
Guys, do you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
How you doing, Carlos?
Doing pretty good. It was being a long time not in your group, but good to hear you guys. No, I'm playing some long stocks, just the good ones. Not playing for the short term. I'm just playing Uber. It was a very good entry, and playing some cover calls on that.
Good. I like to hear that.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Any other tickers that you're looking at, considering? You can bring them up tonight or drop them in the daily stock chat, and make sure and tag me so we can start doing some DD on those. We love you guys to bring us new ideas, because there's literally thousands of stocks out there, and everybody knows about the common ones. That's why I don't make a video a day about Tesla or Uber or Amazon. Everybody knows about those. We're looking for the hidden gems that no one's really talking about.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
And I think Mediocre wasn't ASPN brought up to us by somebody on a live stream a couple of weeks back. No, you found that one on a volatility check, right?
Yes, I found ASPN on the volatility check, but ASTS was the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
That came right out of a live stream.
Was that the one you made $10,000 on?
Yes, it was. Hey, easy. We can't be bragging about that.
Right. Congrats.
Some other YouTubers might get
Show
upset.
your proof. Show your proof, Mediocre.
I showed it and he was upset.
You showed your proof and I don't believe you. Okay, then why even bother? It's
just a trust fund baby doing my thing. Leave me alone. Oh God. They make me laugh, man. I swear. You guys, I apologize. I haven't been around. I'll tell you what's been going on. So for me, like, the holidays were great. Everything was great. And right after the holidays, my wife got sick. Actually, we talked about it in the live stream. And she got sick after that. Then my son got sick. And then I got sick. And the whole time, I'm trying to work and do all my job. It was brutal for me to get on and do some lives and make some videos. So I apologize. I'm turning the corner now. I am still sick. I've been telling Tony for a week now, like, I need a few more days. I cannot do it yet.
Well, we're glad you're here tonight, and we're glad you're feeling better. It's been a rough week or two here also, Mediocre, because, man, my wife is having the worst luck. She lost her dog. Not lost, but he died of old age. And then about, I guess now, maybe 10 days ago, one of our chickens got attacked in the middle of the night, I think, by a raccoon, and almost to the point of death. But we heard it at 1 o'clock in the morning creating a racket. It was my fault. I left the coop door open. Something got in there and dragged it out by the head and bit her all up on the head, in the eyes, on the comb, and the throat. She had puncture wounds everywhere, cracked the top of her beak off. Beaks regrow. So she was just beat to hell. I didn't even know if she was going to make it overnight. So she's in our own personal in-home ICU, and we've been babying her back to health. She's a full-grown hen, but it was touch and go there for a while. But she's healing up, and I'm waiting for her to start eating. I think it's still painful for her to peck and try and eat something.
Absolutely.
But she's drinking, which is good. She's walking around. She's happy. But I need to see her eat. Until I see her eat, I'm still worried about her. And then today, we lost a rabbit to, not by lost, I mean, cross the Rainbow Bridge. So my wife is not having a good time, a good week.
Scarlett, I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
Which means I'm not having a good week,
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot to deal with. But we're still here.
Tony.
We're still here all day, every day, talking about stocks. It's just there's a lot of distractions going on too.
Sorry, Tony. May I share something with the team?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just want to share that I'm kind of happy because about 2-3 weeks ago, I don't know, or a month, I'm out of finally with the AMC with some profit.
You're out of AMC with some profits, and
yeah, I mean, I've been tanked for minus 90%, 90 something, and then I just playing cover calls. You guys, I'm from Monterrey, Mexico, and in Mexico there's no way to play options.
Right.
I mean, for the moral retail guys.
Right.
So I gotta move to the to estate brokers, and in this case I use First Rate, which is pretty good, and I just started playing. I mean, I stopped doing the DCA on Mexico, and I started doing the DCA on the first trade. I mean, I invest some money, but with the cover calls, I finally down my
Cost average.
you know my the average, yeah. And finally I'm out. I mean, after 4 damn years.
Yeah, it's very. I'm glad you said that, Carlos, and you're not the only one. There's many people
there
in
are.
our Discord that have got they fixed being down 90% by following what we do, running the wheel on AMC. And there are many that turned a profit in 2024, including myself on AMC.
Right,
and it makes me.
No, you play much better than
It makes
I
me
know that.
it makes me frustrated when people drop in my comments like I'm stuck in AMC. I'm never going to be able to leave because I'm down 90%. Guys, you don't have to be a victim. You
gotta move on.
You don't have to. Not that you have to move on, Carlos. The way I want to say it is you took active control of trading AMC and running the wheel strategy on it to more quickly and more intelligently bring your cost average down without dramatically increasing your risk. Right.
I mean, I used to have 11,000. I mean, what's up? I mean, for me, that was a lot. I mean, in my portfolio.
I just want to say to anybody who's feeling like you're a victim or you're trapped, you're only trapped because of your own willingness to take some action. Like I also
your mental state, you have to take emotion out of the trade.
You have to also get out of that fear of it. The second I do something, it's going to squeeze. It could. But you've been in 4 years of it going down now.
Yeah.
So when are you going to realize that? When are you going to realize that that's not working? That plan is not working.
Right. No, I just want to share that with you guys, and I'm kind of happy. Yeah.
Put up Crismo's comment.
Sorry, what was that?
He said put up Crismo's comment. Crismo also good out with the profit in 2024. People ask me all the time, why are you still talking about AMC? I made a fuck ton of money, especially percentage wise, on AMC in 2024. Yeah, the company has problems, but you can make money on problematic stocks. Because they have volatility.
Some amount,
they have volatility. You just got to be smart about your entry and exit and your strategy. Our strategy is not buy and hold no matter what, and just keep dollar cost averaging into the grave. That is not what we're doing.
Right.
I don't buy and hold anything.
I did the same with the Virgin's space. I mean SPCE. That's a lot of volatile meme kind of stock, and I did the same, and with a pretty good profits.
Well, I'm glad to hear that the wheel is working for you, Carlos, and I'm glad you were able to get out of that play. I was going to say, we've seen traders like in November. There were, I got out in November after the earnings call, and Adam talked about the Go plan, and I looked at the Q1 box office, and I looked at the cash flow, and I was like, these guys are going to dilute in December. I'm getting out. I want to be out before the dilution. I got out at very close to break even because I had been buying at the low $4 for that round at the end of 2024. But we had people, you're a
perfect timing guy, Tony.
We had people that got out of the play in November with me that took a 5-digit loss in November. Like I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars. But you know what? They had money still in the play that they took out. They took the loss, they took the hit, and they made their money back before the end of the year. In 2 months, they made those tens of thousands of dollars back on other plays. You don't have to be a victim. You have
That's
to be
pretty sad.
willing to
Yeah.
trade
Yeah.
and get around people that are looking for trades that, that make sense. Trades of the
Oh, yeah.
moment. If you can't find them yourself, get in a group. It doesn't have to be my group. Get a group that is doing well and join the group. There's plenty of them out there. I'm not selling you my group. I'm just saying.
No. That's a great chat team. Yeah.
I just don't want people to be deer in their headlights and like, well, there's nothing I can do. There's always something you can do. Mediocre, what do you say?
I even posted on Twitter, which I don't like to brag, you guys, honestly. I don't. Tony knows that. And I didn't even make a video about it. But I posted on Twitter just, for the haters that hate on what we do and all that stuff. I posted on Twitter my gains, my percentage gain from 2024. And I didn't make a video about it. I haven't talked about it. Tony knows what it is. I'm not even going to tell you about it. You could go look on my Twitter. I don't really care. But the thing is I made a substantial amount of money, and you just got to keep going. That's it. I don't. Okay, now we're in 2025. The new year's here. My goal to keep growing percentage every week in my portfolio. I don't need to.
I'm going to tell them what you tweeted, Mediocre. You made around 150% portfolio gain in 2024.
I did.
And I know that for a good portion of 2024, you owned more shares than most people that I know.
Yes,
And
I did.
so to say that we're not holding AMC or we're not trading it or we're not making money on it is just absolutely ridiculous. But it's not the only stock that we trade.
I'll tell you right now, I'll just tell you, at one time, I was holding over 50,000 shares of AMC.
In 2024.
In 2024. I'm not holding that now. I have 0 shares of AMC right now.
You mean 50,000? Wow.
Huh?
50,000. 50,000.
Yeah. Wow.
Our Discord community, I would say, had, I don't even want to guess how many shares. An obscene amount of shares.
So for everybody who says we're not holding the stock or we're not optimistic about the stock, we wouldn't be buying the damn thing if we didn't have optimism, but we also have realism when the numbers or the chart or the financials tell us, hey, the chart just skyrocketed 5x in May, time to take some profits and wait for it to come back down. Or like in November when we got nervous about Q1. All right, it's a good exit right now to just manage your risk and wait and see what happens. There's nothing wrong with stepping out for a couple weeks or a couple months, however long it takes. I don't want to hear this nonsense that we don't support the company or we're not optimistic. We're just using realism and using the numbers, using the financials, listening to what management's saying, and then trying to make reasonable decisions. This is not a cult like the only thing we know how to do is buy and hold.
We are talking about the company because we like the company. We want the company to succeed. We want you guys to succeed, right? That's the whole purpose of why we talk about it. And it's a great play because if you don't listen, let's be honest. If I'm holding with you, just so you know, there's traders out there every day trading that stock. That's where the volatility comes from. That stock just isn't being held. People are buying it every day and selling it. It's happening. That's where your volume comes from. The turnover of AMC it's a lot because shares trade hands a lot.
Literally, that's where the volume's coming from people trading it, Mediocre.
I know. And so if you can't beat them, join them, trade. You got to trade. You know what I mean? What was going on from 2021 on up was not working for AMC. The buy and hold deal was not working. And when we were in court for the whole AMC ape debacle, that was time for me. I drew a line in the sand. I was not willing to give my hard-earned money. I have a family. I was not willing to give up all that money, for a company that doesn't give a crap about me. Okay, I like the company. It's a 100-year-old company. I'd like to see them survive, right? But their job is to keep the company going. And if taking money from shareholders is how they do it, that's what they're going to do, right? That's the whole purpose of them being on the New York Stock Exchange.
Let me rephrase that another way to be more clear, mediocre. The company around the time of that court in 2023, as we discussed every night for a year, was going to convert so that they had the ability to raise cash because they were running low on
Absolutely.
cash, right? There was
Right.
no secret to anybody that the company was going to dilute when the court approved the settlement. That was not a secret. That's why I sold after the settlement was approved, because even though, and I told you guys, it was our opinion that 99% chance the court was going to approve it. So we were right on 100% of that. The court did approve it, and the company was very upfront with you that they were going to then use that newfound shares after the reverse split conversion to raise cash because they were running low on cash. Everybody knew that. Even the people that voted no knew that. And they still held through it, mediocre. They still held through the conversion and all the dilution, which is what I don't get. Like if you knew that was going to happen and you were mad about it, why didn't you sell when the settlement was approved? I don't get it.
I don't even remember how many shares of Ape I had. I mean, that was ridiculous on you, wasn't it? Anyway, put up Jim Eagle's comment because that's a great comment. I like it.
He says, lost my GME and DJT shares due to covered calls. Guess what? I made money on them. Beautiful. And that's the thing, Jim. Every time we are selling covered calls, we have this discussion every time. If we're talking about a ticker in the Discord and we're all debating what strike price we're going to sell a covered call at if we own the shares, people might choose different strike prices because we all have different risk tolerances and different thoughts about the play. But we might all take the same general strategy, like selling covered calls at, let's say, AMC. In May, we might have had some selling covered calls at 450, 550. Everybody's got a different idea about what works for them. It also depends on their cost basis. But everybody that is doing that is willing to sell their shares at that price. They already made peace with it, and they already know they're going to make money if they get called. So that's a win, Jim. You sold covered calls, you made money on the premium, and you made profit when your shares got called away. That's a win-win in my book.
Jim, let me ask you a question. You can put in the comments. After you did lose the shares, did the stock price come back down? Are you able to get in at a cheaper entry if you wanted to? Not saying that you have to do that right then. I'm just a question for everybody else.
Can you repeat the question,
Say it again, mediocre? Yeah, yeah, please.
My question is, after he ended up losing his shares, let's say it went to, we'll just say it's one position. It went to $14. He sold $14 covered call, so he ended up losing his shares. After he lost his shares, did the stock price fall back below $14 where he can get a re-entry if he chose to?
Gotcha.
Did that happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that happens quite a bit at a time, Tony.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. In my opinion, that will depend on the trend. I mean, is it trending upper or down? I do a lot of let me say cover calls. It's what I do. Not so much sometimes, but may calls to maintain the stock, distance and on. So I'm always facing the pretty close to the the in the money. No, at the money. I'm amazing. At the money and a little bit of the money. So no, I I didn't lose uh, the share. Sometimes, yeah, it's just looking for a good entry. If the trend is good, I mean, upwards, yeah, I enter it. Yeah, that's what I.
Very good. Very good, Carlos. Sparky says, seeing people excited about the Robinhood $45 million fine. What do you think? Did you hear about that, Mediocre?
Yeah,
They
I
got-
did, but I don't really pay no attention to that kind of stuff.
I'm going to say the same thing, Sparky. I see people every day posting about this person, this institution got fined, this one got fined. Yeah, the fines are annoyingly small. I agree with that sentiment. Do I think it's going to change anything? No. So I don't really talk about it.
I don't think like my stance is I don't think the SEC really has any teeth to begin with. So
I don't think that they care too much. They don't care
But-
enough. That's what I've learned over the last 4 years.
Jim Eagle did respond, and I like his comment.
Let's see if I can find.
It proves my point.
I lost DJT.
Yeah, so he lost DJT on Friday, is what his comment says. But GME is lower than what his call price was. So if he wanted to re-enter in GME right now, he could, and he would make money on the position because he lost his shares at a higher price and it's trading lower now.
Beautiful trade.
Which
And
is
that's exactly what you want to happen.
exactly.
And the volatility was high on those too.
So good job, Jim.
The Car Alchemist, what's up? He says, Tony, I'm down 100K on AMC. Would you just hold on to the shares forever? I mean, I would be looking for ways to fix your position, the Car Alchemist. And I can't answer the question what you should do because I don't know your risk tolerance or what your portfolio overall size is, or what your willingness or ability is to do some of the more advanced strategies that we do. We have people that wanted to fix their AMC position just on AMC. They didn't want to look at other plays. So we would point out, and sometimes this requires patience. We would point out when the chart appeared to be really low, like what was it, around April of 2024 when it was in the $2. That's when people loaded up that needed to fix their position.
Absolutely, they did.
The negative sentiment was horrible, but we're looking at the box office for the rest of 2024 saying the negative sentiment is overdone. And I was buying there, and a lot of people that needed to fix their position were buying heavy there. And then it ran up to $11.
It was down there because the Q1 box office for what was it, 2023 was terrible,
strike,
right?
Yeah, the strike, the dilution, people, all the social media trolls and negative sentiment. That's beautiful. I love to see the negative sentiment ramped up because the more people that get scared out, I think, normally, I think that becomes a better and better opportunity for me to get in at a reasonable entry if I think that the box office is going to improve. The only reason I haven't jumped in right now is because I'm worried about them being out of shares. So we got a new factor to consider right now. It could go lower.
In the car, I'll add this. We don't know your knowledge of the markets in general, right? Like I have no idea what you're capable of doing in the markets or any of that. Like, but if you have a good understanding of markets and such, I mean, holding, a lot of people say that, cutting your losses on losers is the way to go. I mean,
I'm just gonna mediocre. Let me remind him what the 10Q risk factors say. This is a highly speculative stock. This is AMC's words. It's a highly speculative stock. If the box office does not dramatically grow, there's a very high probability they're going to need to raise more money. Therefore, you could lose all of your investment or the value of most of your investment. That's the current risk disclosures from AMC. I can tell you There are thousands of companies out there that don't have those risks. So do you want to keep riding that risk for the hope of a big reward? Or does it make sense to you to move that money out into something that is safer, like a blue chip or a ETF index fund, or just something that is trending up? It doesn't have to. We day trade, week trade, swing trade, volatile stocks because they're moving up that week. And then we're in cash over the weekend and we look for the next one the next week. But it sucks if you're in a stock that's only going down. Like, you got to be able to read the chart. The only reason you're still in it, I'm guessing, is because you're listening to people that are telling you it's going to squeeze tomorrow. So you got to decide what your belief system is and what is more important to you.
You know, and your overall capabilities in the market, right? Like, I don't know what you're capable of, but if you're new and you want to learn, I think you come to the right channel to learn a few things, right? Like, we can talk a lot of stuff, and you can join the discords or whatever, and there's people in there that will help you to understand, things on whatever whether it's TA, whether it's fundamentals, whatever, you know what I mean, to help you learn. That's the thing. You have to kind of, I don't know what you know. I'm not saying that you don't know. I'm just saying once you have a good understanding, it's a lot easier to make money, in my opinion.
The other thing, we have an advantage over some people. We're like, I'm able to sit here and watch stocks all day and do a lot of research. Not every, a lot of people have regular jobs where they can't be watching stocks for day trades or swing trades. So depending on your time availability also could affect your strategy of what you do. But just in general, the stock has been trending down. I think that it is going to get better box office wise in Q4 based on what I'm seeing right now. Q4 in 2026 will be better. But my question is to myself, and by extension to you guys, what's going to happen between now and Q4? What's going to happen? That's what we need to be all thinking very hard about. And I'm not talking just opinion. Who is showing you the numbers of what is going to happen? Oh, it's fine to say, I think it's going to be the best year ever in the last 5 years. Okay, great. Best box office in the last 5 years. Show me how that translates to positive earnings by walking me through your income statement forecast. Because I've already done it. And it doesn't, unless every box office for the rest of this year is over 2.85 billion, I have a hard time. I couldn't make a video to convince you that the company is going to make a profit in Q2 or Q3 because my spreadsheet is not showing that.
And I'd like to add to that too, right? Like, right now, we all know, and I know people don't like when we bring this up, but it's true. AMC is out of shares. So if something goes wrong, they don't have a backup to save them at the moment, right? That's an issue.
That's the primary thing I guess we're worried about right now, Mediocre, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens for the car, just so he can understand, right? I'm going to speculate. This is pure speculation. I have no idea this is going to happen. I have an idea that it's a possibility. This is true. I will say that much. But let's just say that AMC asked for a reverse split, just for the sake of argument. Now, a reverse split has nothing, zero, to do with dilution. Am I wrong, Tony?
I would say a reverse split does not change the mathematics of your position or the company. In isolation, the reverse split does not change the math of anything. However, exactly. Mediocre, carry on part 2.
All right. So if AMC performs a reverse split, they get the votes, however they do it, and they perform a reverse split, then the stock price is going to go to a higher level. Okay. Depending on what the split ratio is, I don't know what it'll be. I'm just using it as an example. So the stock price will be higher, which makes it harder for somebody to lower their dollar cost average, right? But on the other hand, what was the purpose they did the reverse split? Well, the main purpose, my belief is that they need the shares to put back into the authorized. So if they do ever need to tap the equity markets, they have available shares to do so, which they do not have right now.
That's not even an opinion, mediocre. They disclosed that in the latest prospectus.
Well, I know they did, but I mean, I'm trying to be nice, but they didn't say a reverse split.
They didn't say reverse split, but they said
Exactly.
if we don't get more shares, this presents significant risk.
Right.
So yeah, I think they're going to do something. I don't know what something is.
Exactly. That's, to me, that's the easiest route for them, I think. I mean, there's an easier route, which you've explained, but I just think that's how it's going to go down if it goes down. And,
Here's-
I'll wait and see. That's where I'm at.
Here's a good little point Anya brought up that Dink was talking about in the Discord today. Mediocre, you know how the executives at AMC are compensated heavily. Bulk of their compensation is in awarded RSUs and PSUs, shares, right?
Yep.
And those shares vest over 5 years. And the company's already set aside shares for the previously approved compensation packages over the last 5 years. Those are locked in.
Mm-hmm.
But coming up in the next proxy this summer, when it comes to compensation, how are they going to award them any RSUs or PSUs? They're out of shares.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Now, you got two options. They're going
Mm-hmm.
to need to find more shares somehow, wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
Yep.
to have not only shares for the company to raise money if they need it, but also executive compensation. Or if they don't get those shares approved, you think the executives are going to take a pay cut from $25 million package to just their salary of $1.5 million? Or do you think it's more likely that they're going to say, well, we got no more shares, so we're going to convert to cash awards for this year?
Some will argue, Tony, that they're overpaid and they don't deserve any of that.
Well, that's a fair argument, and I'm going to table that for a second. I'm going to tell you that I've already read in previous documents from the company, if they are out of shares, they will pay cash bonuses, which will what? Be detrimental to income and free
Yes,
cash
exactly.
flow. So it's a lose-lose situation for us. They're going to get their money.
Yes, they are.
You don't win by penalizing the executives and saying no shares for you. They'll just turn around and authorize a cash bonus, and then you get fucked on the income statement.
Let me remind you guys that we tried that back in 2021 when we refused them shares, and look where we ended up when we were at 72. If we gave them the shares at 72, we would not be in the position we're at right now. That's a fact.
Just Do It says, what market cap would you be interested in? What market cap would I be interested in going long? I'm not really looking at the market cap per se to decide when to buy. I do look at market cap, and Mediocre, I know, looks at it also a lot when we're analyzing the effect of dilution.
Absolutely.
And we're trying to figure out where, what, just in general, what market cap is the Wall Street trying to drive AMC to? And we think that somewhere in this 1.5, 1.7 billion range is where the market thinks AMC is properly valued. That's why the price came down with the dilution to keep the market cap around 1.5, 1.7. But
if you go back in, I think you all should do this. Go back and look at historic market cap for AMC, and you'll find out what we're talking about.
Yeah. And go back to look like 2017 to 2020. That's kind of our reference point, not 2021, 2022. Those were FOMO market caps. But to answer your question, Just Do It. I don't look at market cap to decide my entry. I think about box office, say in 2026, and then I think about how's that going to translate to earnings per share, and then what multiple is the market going to assign as fair payment for those earnings for a forward PE ratio. And I would say a 20 to 25 PE ratio is reasonable based on looking at Cinemark and IMAX. So you got to do the work or watch my channel from time to time. I talk about it in the Discord. I haven't really made the videos because it's not worth the hate. But we've done some earnings forecasts already for 2026, and we've already talked about a price target for 2026 based off those earnings per share, annual earnings per share in 2026. I'm going to make up a number right now. I'm going to just pick it out of a hat because it's easy math. Let's say the 2026 expected earnings were $1 per share, and the multiple of theater companies is 20. That's a $20 price target in 2026. What I can't tell you is what is the earnings per share going to be, because we're not there yet. And I don't know what the share count is going to be by the time we get there. See, that share count works in that equation. The more shares you have, the lower earnings per share goes. So all these people telling you, oh, it's going to be a $20 price target in 2026. Not if they dilute the float by 500 million more shares. It's going to be a $10 price target per share. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. If not, watch this on replay. Work out the math yourselves a couple times.
And that's something that we work a lot on when it comes to dilution plays, because you need to know what the market is going to value the stock at, right? So you don't get caught. That is our number one goal, not to get caught holding the shares in a bad price and being underwater, right? Because once you're underwater, then you have to work to drag yourself out, and that's it can be done, and we do it, but it's not an easy task. It ties you up for um, a period of time before you can fully get all your money out, and that's an issue I have, right? Like, I'm not trying to be underwater at any given point, you know.
Mediocre, you want to address JP's question on the screen? He says they need to sacrifice one of the two, AMC or GameStop, so they will squeeze GameStop and bring down AMC. Do you think they're tied together like that, Mediocre? One must get sacrificed to let the other one win?
I don't think they're tied together at all, in my opinion. I think they both have their individual. They're both meme stocks. You can say that. You know, when people FOMO into GameStop, I believe people FOMO into AMC. I don't know if I would even call it FOMO now. Day traders know, like, okay, they're going to go into GME and they're going to go into AMC and push the price up and make money based off of whatever the news may be, whether it's Roaring Kitty or whatever. That's what I believe happens, right? Because if you want to say they're tied together in that aspect, it's because of situations like that. But other than that, they're both individual companies and they trade with the way they trade. Yeah,
they're individual companies in completely different sectors. So in my opinion, also Mediocre, they're not tied together other than the fact they're both meme stocks. What happened with GameStop last week was not that AMC brought it down. GameStop was wildly overvalued based on current earnings, the PE ratio of what? 150, 200, 300, whatever the PE ratio is, ridiculously high compared to its peers in the retail sector, which is how you compare companies. Don't compare it to Uber or Amazon or Tesla. Compare it to the retail sector. It's wildly overvalued. The cash on the balance sheet is not used to value the stock. The earnings are. So there was a lot of hype based on the 4-year anniversary of January, based on the hope that Roaring Kitty would come back, based on a Christmas box tweet, based on the options chain being loaded up. And I was telling my Discord every day, every week, the higher it goes, the more likely it's going to get spanked. And as soon as it started getting spanked, then the options chain starts getting unwound. The hedging that was required drives the price down even faster and faster.
So Tony,
As much as the options chain is bullish when it's going up, it works against you the second they decide to start unwinding it.
wouldn't you agree too, Tony, that when they say that, AMC's following GameStop or GameStop's following AMC, the charts look similar? Wouldn't you agree that that's mostly a market move based on the overall market and how it's moving?
I would need to refresh my memory, mediocre. I have laid AMC over GameStop, and there are a lot of similarities on the two. I can't remember my comparison if I did it to the SPY or not, but they mostly move together, except AMC gets disconnected when they do dilution, and of course they get disconnected because AMC has a company-specific event that's driving the price down.
Yeah, a lot of times they follow the overall market. I think what's happening is, people are, the market's moving up, whatever. Maybe they're buying some meme stocks because the overall market's moving, or it's going down, and maybe they're dumping some of that position. I think it has a lot to do with the overall market. That's just my opinion of it.
Clark says maybe Trump will come out and issue an executive order and make it illegal to short stocks. Clark, I'm not going to say anything is impossible, but I did tweet about a month ago. I think this is just my opinion, and I know it's very unpopular. If anybody's counting on Trump to save your play, I think that is a misguided belief. That's just my opinion. I'd be happy to be wrong. But yeah, I don't think he's going to ban short selling.
I don't think he can. I'm not sure that
it's an integral part of the market.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say the SEC doesn't have any teeth.
But could Trump just do an executive order?
But okay.
It'd be a fascinating case study if he did. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not opposed to it. Let me just be clear on that. I'm just saying from all the stuff I've seen with Citadel and all them and the whole cat system stuff and how it all went to court and the courts were like, they were saying it's unconstitutional, this and the other thing. But the SEC, everybody wants the SEC to act, and they can't act because they don't have the power to act. Because Congress has to give them the power to do that. They need their power from Congress. And so when the Congress doesn't make laws that helps us retail, nothing's going to change. That's what I'm trying to say. Could he make an executive order, enforce the SEC to do something? Probably. I'm not sure how.
Yeah, we already know naked short selling is illegal. Yeah, it still happens.
But I think
they don't seem to do much about that.
I think that the big money would challenge it in court. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying it will be challenged. Whatever happens with the market is going to get challenged in court.
JP mediocre. I'm going to let you answer this one because I know you're going to answer it the same way I would. JP says you talk about fundamentals when you know the stock market is rigged, whatever price they want. Even Kenny said it. Mediocre. Give it a whack.
All right. So let's talk about what Kenny said. Kenny said he believes, because I know exactly what you're talking about, JP. Kenny said he believes that they should be able to, choose the price where they want to go as a market maker or whatever. My point.
I think he was talking about Citadel, the institution that invests in stocks, not the market maker. Market maker is just making a market. So we got two Citadels, right? He's talking about the trading arm.
Yeah, you're right. I misspoke there. I apologize. You're 100% right on that. So what he's saying though is it's his money. If he wants to use his billions of dollars to drive the stock down, he 100% can. That's what you guys fail to realize. Like you're saying he doesn't have the money. I don't understand it. If he wants to move the price down or sell his shares or whatever, he has the right to do it with his money. It's his money. You can't tell somebody that how would you like it if I told you how to trade with your money?
I'm going
And I
to add a
told you,
little extra
you
layer
can't
of
go
color.
long.
I'm going to add an extra layer of color to your first salvo there, mediocre. Citadel can drive the price down using their money, as mediocre said, but they can only drive it down to a fundamental price that the market agrees is fair.
Absolutely.
Or some other institution is going to come in and start buying.
Right.
That's what you guys are failing to understand. And this is why I'm talking about understanding the fundamental value of AMC or GameStop. Because if you're willing to overpay it, he's willing to short it. And he will short it to the point where it doesn't make sense from a fundamental value anymore, because someone else or many others will come in and start buying it.
Let's
So
just use
he
an example here. We'll
only
talk
drive
about
it
AMC.
down to a certain point. And that's why you must understand what they perceive to be the fundamental value, even though it sticks in your craw because you hear GameStop YouTubers telling you, oh, it's undervalued at $34. Bullshit. I've laid out the case time after time on videos showing you why it is overvalued at 34 bucks. It's a speculative bet on a future acquisition based on the current fundamentals, the current earnings. It's wildly overvalued. And Kenny's going to short against your bet because you got nothing. There's no one willing to step up.
Here's a
with
perfect
you.
example. Let's go back to AMC, Tony. We've talked about it tonight, as a matter of fact. When AMC got pushed down to $2, we were buying. Why were we buying at that time, Tony? We were buying because
It was undervalued.
right, the market cap said it was undervalued, and the box office was coming back. There was a lot of things in the future that were going to move the price back up. And when you see that, so no matter how much somebody drives the price down, there's going to be somebody on the other side to buy it back up if it's
You-
undervalued.
You
That's
guys
the
need to
thing.
start figuring out who doesn't know what they're talking about, even though they have a show every day telling you something is undervalued at 34 bucks. They do not know what they're talking about. What they should be telling you, which would be true and honest, is I'm going to make a bet that at some point in the future, I don't know when, there will be an acquisition or merger that will dramatically increase the earnings of GameStop. And I'm willing to lay it all the line on a speculative bet. I'd have no problem with that. That's a fair, all right, you laid your cards out. But to sit there every day and tell you guys, based on the cash on the balance sheet, it's worth $34, that is horseshit. And any person with a finance or accounting degree would run circles around that argument because it's nonsense. Cash on the balance sheet is only worth book value, and that's around 11 bucks for GameStop. So stop listening to anyone who's talking about cash on the balance sheet. Tangible book. Oh, it's not book value, it's tangible. It's the same fucking thing for GameStop because
It's like
they don't have any goodwill. Tangible book value, same thing.
it's like the new Trump coin, right? That ran up so much. It ran up because why? There wasn't a lot of sellers and people were buying and trading it up. You know, when you have a float, that float is pretty small. I believe because they I think Trump owns 80% of it. Don't quote me on that. So that only leaves 20% tradable. I think it's $1 billion afloat. But the point I'm trying to make is people buy and sell. They're buying and selling that 20%. That 80% is being held. We're assuming, right? Then that's why the price is going up, because that's what's being traded. There's no downward pressure on the stock. So it works in both directions is what we're saying. So if they believe the fundamental value is at, say, $14, but Goldman thinks it's 16, they're going to get into a bidding conflict, and who knows, maybe we end up at, 14.50 or $15 right in the middle. You never know. That's how the market is played. So
Citadel has a lot of power to drive prices down, but they know when to stop because the rest of the market will beat them if they push something down too much. This is why you guys must understand how they're looking at the play and listen to what they're saying the fundamental value is, I think. If you want to have the best opportunity not to lose money.
The 20, the
Let's bring
2021
Anya's.
phenomenal. Okay,
Go ahead. No, you want to finish this topic. Go ahead, and then we'll move
I
on
was
to
going to say
Anya's
the
question.
2021 phenomenon that happened with the short squeezes. A lot of people don't want to talk about like that chart from Ortex that I saved. You gave to me. There's a chart from Ortex that kind of shows that short sellers stepped out of the way, specifically on AMC. Okay, GameStop, they might have got squeezed out, but on AMC, it appeared that short sellers kind of stepped out of the way and allowed it to run. And that, why did they do that? So they didn't get squeezed out of the play and they can short it down from the top and not lose money, right? At that time, you got to remember, not only they knew what was going on at the time. At that time, our government was giving everybody free money that was putting into the market that gave everybody a chance to buy AMC. People piled in like crazy, and the shorts were like, "Oh, I'm getting out of the way." This is my opinion. You don't have to believe me. I got a chart to kind of support what I'm saying. But the fact of the matter is, it ran to 72. All right, what's different today? Today, what's different is you don't have the government giving millions of people money that they're putting into specific stocks and everybody's piling in all at once. So for me, it's not the same play it was in 2021. I'm sorry to tell you guys that. That's just my belief.
All right,
What do
let's
you
move
think of
on
that?
to Anya's question. Who's driving up Carvana? Carvana's financials, Anya, changed. They changed dramatically to where they started reporting massive earnings, which drove the price, which drove institutional buying and algorithmic buying. The question is, and the question's been raised, did they cook the books to artificially inflate those earnings? Some people say yes. And I think there's probably a good case to be made for that yes. How many other car companies do you know? I follow some people in the industry on YouTube that are in the auto industry, and they're struggling, these other car sale outlets. So how is Carvana the only one that's making massive profits? It does seem odd, but the algos and the institutions follow the SEC filings until they have reason to believe that they're not correct, and then it'll get dumped. That's what I think. Every price always follows earnings. How many professional analysts on TV do you see start out talking about a stock based on here's how we value it based on the book value? You don't, unless they're talking about what? A Keith Gill scenario where the market cap is under the book value. We don't have that with AMC or GameStop. So they always start talking about multiple of earnings. I want you guys to hammer that in your head. Earnings drives share price.
Go ahead.
The thing that varies is what does the market value those earnings? High-tech companies, they'll give a high valuation because the earnings growth is expected to be better than the market. And something like a retail store, they'll give a low PE ratio to because they typically have very slow earnings, slow growth. Anya says the hedge fund questioning them just shut down. Maybe the executives were scared for their lives. Is that the Carvana and Hindenburg? Yeah, I don't think they were. I don't know if I would call them a hedge fund. I think they did short Hindenburg Research. They were that firm that looked for what they saw as malfeasance going on in the market. And they had a pretty good track record of being correct, I think. I know people don't like firms like Hindenburg, so I don't have an opinion on it. I just track their rate of accuracy.
and I don't want people thinking, that I'm super bearish on GameStop or AMC. To be honest, I rarely even look at them anymore because I find more volatile plays that are a lot easier to make money on. So I tend not to even waste my time with them, to be honest. But do I want to see them both succeed? 100% I do. I think that you guys should have proper information as well. That's all.
I would like to see both of them succeed as well. And GameStop's got a fantastic balance sheet, which,
It does.
the bankruptcy thesis is dead. But if I'm going to buy GameStop, I want a better price to earnings ratio. I need the price of the stock lower to lower my risk and increase the chance of me seeing a run. Like anybody that bought in at $10, what a fantastic opportunity. Even I think, right now, low 20s might be reasonable unless GameStop comes out with some horrible news in the next earnings. I think the fair valuation is under $20, but I think the market is going to be hesitant to push it below $20 because they're worried about Roaring Kitty and they're worried about what Ryan Cohen could do with billions of dollars on the balance sheet. So
I'd
that's
be
kind of what
scared
I'm
too.
looking. It's kind of what I'm looking at for GameStop. Like, I'd feel more comfortable in the low 20s. I don't hate the play. I just hate risk.
Right.
And so if I
It's
trade it,
risky.
if I trade it, I want an entry that I can sleep at night with.
GameStop is risky for shorts and for longs right now, right? Because you don't know where it could go. So I don't think there's a whole lot of shorting going on GameStop. Do you?
There's no short interest is the short interest is low on GameStop. And you got mediocre. You've known me a long time. I've only ever reported on this channel the reported short interest. I know there's a lot of people that are pushing theories of the shorts are far beyond the float, or they're looking at ETFs or swaps and all this other stuff. I just look at the short interest report. That served me well for understanding what is going to happen in a play. And the short
Yep.
interest is low in GameStop. So I don't consider it a highly shorted stock. That's my own opinion. You don't have to agree with it. That's what I use for my trading choices. All right, mediocre. We're at 2 hours. I promised the wife we'd only be 1 hour.
I know. I was just going to say something to you.
Guys,
I
thanks
looked up at the
for
clock.
the discussion and the great questions tonight. If I wake up in time and get things organized, mediocre and I, maybe we'll see you guys in the morning just to live stream and hang out while we watch the inauguration festivities. So keep an eye on the notices for that if we're able to get that organized. I think the ceremony itself is at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. So I need to see what else is going on in the morning and as far as activities up there and what time would be a good time to start if I do that. So hopefully you guys got some value out of tonight. I know, it's a lot of controversial stuff. We're not here to just tell you what you want to hear, and we're just telling you our honest opinions about each of these plays, and you're free to always have your own opinion and a different opinion. That's never going to hurt my feelings.
That's right.
Just be an adult and we can have adult conversations. And if anyone has box office forecast, like I said, I did mine for AMC for the rest of this year, and wants to put numbers to a quarter by quarter income statement and show me how AMC is going to make a profit in Q2 and Q3. I'm very interested in seeing your work, and let's have a talk. Maybe you can bring me over to your side. I'm completely open to being incorrect. So that invitation is always there to any of you. Mediocre, thanks for your time tonight. Rolf, Gus, Carlos, everybody that joined in on Discord. Who else? Richie, Anya, thanks for modding tonight. Everybody in the chat and the subs on the channel. Thank you.
You all.
You guys
Make money.
You guys are why we're here. We hope we're delivering some value, maybe some new things for you to think about from time to time. Give me 1 second, mediocre, to pull up. Go ahead and do your closing while I find the outro here.
You got it.
What do you want to say goodbye?
I just want everybody to understand we're in a new year. Let's trade emotion free. Let's make some new money.
Making money, baby. Kenneth says, what time live stream tomorrow? Just keep an eye on the notifications. Set that alarm bell on the YouTube channel. I haven't picked a time yet. When I get done here, I'm going to go look at the day's schedule of events, and I'll try and decide later tonight, and I'll post it in the morning. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. We love you. Peace out.
Good night.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make